Hello and welcome back to the Awakened Path podcast. My name is Ashuna and I am your guide to all things spiritual, self-love, self-care. I'm going to give you all sorts of tips and techniques to help you become the best version of yourself and help you get through this thing called life. Today's episode, guys, is all about manifesting. We are going to manifest our dreams into reality. I bet all of you are just sitting on the edge of your seat, waiting for me to share all the tips that I have with you and share my personal stories because we all love a good story about manifesting something into existence, do we not? So, we are going to talk all about manifesting today, and I'm looking forward to this episode. I've been writing down some notes and things I want to share with you. So, we are going to start out today kind of talking about what is manifesting. And manifesting is really like setting the intention of what you want and then aligning yourself to receive it. And in order to be in alignment, you have to be open to receiving, but you also have to be taking action steps. So when you're asking for something from the universe, God, source, creator, your spirit guides, whoever you like to work with, you have to ask for what it is that you want, but then you also have to be open to receive it and show them that you're serious. Because I'm going to tell you, sometimes, guys, they're going to test you. They are going to push your buttons and be like, are you sure you want this? Are you really positive this is what you want to do? So you got to get really clear and concise on what you want. Take some action steps and be open to receiving. That is the most important steps when it comes to manifesting. Another thing that's really, really important is showing gratitude. I'm going to tell you, when somebody is grateful and thankful for something, I am so much more apt to want to do more for that person than if they're just like taking it and expecting it and being like, I want this, give it to me. Okay, well, yeah, I could give it to you, but maybe I don't want to give it to you. Maybe I don't like your attitude. So maybe some of you listening to this right now need to check yourself and be like, have I showed some gratitude today? Have I been thankful for what I already have while I am trying to manifest what it is that I want for myself? So just something to consider here, guys. I'm not going to sit here and get on anybody's case. Let's be honest, we all have moments where sometimes we get wrapped up in what's going on and we forget to take a moment to be grateful for what we already have. We are too focused on what we are missing out on or what we feel we are lacking in our life to be able to show gratitude for the things that we already have. Let's use an example of that. Let's say that you're low on groceries. You just really don't have much in the house. Or maybe you've got some stuff in the house, but let's be honest, it's not going to put together your favorite meal. It might not be the tastiest item. We might be clearing out the back of the pantry and being like, oh, I got some black beans back here. I guess I could have those for dinner. Yeah, sometimes we're going to have those moments where we're going to have to dig deep and we're going to be like, I am so grateful and I'm so thankful that tonight I get to eat rice and beans again. Even though I would love to have, I don't know, lentil dal or tofu scramble or some other amazing dish. Some mac and cheese sounds really good, does it not? Let's say we want something so much tastier than what we have. But in this moment, we can show gratitude for having sustenance, for having a roof over our head, for having whatever it is that we have while we're working on manifesting what it is that we wish and desire to receive. I wanted to share with you guys a couple of personal experiences that I've had with manifesting and how it has worked for me. And hopefully it might inspire you and help you to kind of get on board with some things that you can be doing to better your manifesting techniques or to help you to align better to receive. So back in 2022, I was living out in Las Vegas. I don't know what propelled me to move out there, but my spirit team was like, we're moving to Vegas. And I'm like, okay, bet. Let's move out to Vegas. Let's have a fresh start and let's see what life is like out there. And so I moved out there. And I wasn't quite sure how everything was going to come together, but you know what? Somehow it did. I had the money to move, I had the money for the deposits and everything I needed. And so it all came together and I moved out there. And while I was out there, I'm going to be honest, money was not flowing the way I needed it to flow. And there were many, many months that I would be paying my rent just a little bit late. Not late enough to have to go to court, but late enough to get that notice on my door. And there were many times where I was just like, how am I going to come up with rent this month? How is everything going to come together for me? But I kept telling myself, not every single day, but very frequently, the abundant universe will always provide. I will always have more than enough of what I want and need. And so I kept that attitude, especially in those moments when things were looking pretty dark. And I was not sure how things were going to come together. I knew they were going to come together. I trusted that they were going to come together. But, as I said, sometimes spirit tests you and they ask you, are you sure? Are you sure you believe? Are you sure you're on board? So there was a month when groceries were getting slim. I didn't have much left in the house. Did I have some things that I could cook? Yes. Were they things I necessarily wanted to eat? No. There were other things that I much would have preferred to have. But I was like, okay, I got to order groceries. But I'm also trying to get my rent money together. And I don't have a lot more time to get my rent money together. And I've only got about half of it at this point. So I'm a little freaked out. But I know that I need to order groceries. It's either order them now or order them when I'm truly out. And at that point, I'm going to have to pay my rent. So who knows if I'm going to have the money at that point. So I went ahead and I ordered groceries. Now, when I was living out in Vegas, I did not have a car. I still don't have a car. And I'm cool with not having a car. But it made shopping a little bit difficult because obviously nobody wants to pay for an Uber and a Lyft everywhere. And sometimes it just makes more sense to have somebody deliver stuff to your house. So at this time, I would use Instacart and I would have my groceries delivered. And yeah, I'd pay the fees and I'd pay the tip. But for me, it was worth it because taking the car ride, going shopping, lugging all the stuff into the car, lugging the stuff into my apartment, it just made more financial sense to me to have it delivered. And at this time, I placed an order. I think my total was about $150 with all the fees and everything included. I had spent about $150 for groceries. And that was going to, obviously last me for a while. And I placed my order and I waited and then it said that they were delivered. And I looked in the app and I was like, hold up, wait a minute. That is not my apartment. Where are my groceries? And so I'm freaking out a little bit, trying to figure out, okay, where even in the apartment complex are my groceries? Can I go pick them up and find them? And of course, I had no clue where this unit was. And I'm trying to call the driver. She's not answering. So I contact the support team, of course, and they were so sweet. And they tried to contact her and they couldn't get a hold of her either. So they're like, well, you know what? We're just going to refund you and we're really, really sorry. And we're going to give you a $10 credit for the inconvenience today. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I got off the phone with them. And like 5 minutes later, I hear noise outside. And I'm like, what is going on outside my apartment? And I walked outside and all of the groceries I had ordered were sitting outside of my door. The driver had realized their mistake and left them outside. And at this point, I had already gotten a refund. So I got $150 back in my pocket that I was going to spend. And I got free groceries. And it was so sweet to be in my kitchen and put all those groceries away. And I was doing my little happy dance. And each item, I was just so grateful to have every single thing that was in that bag because I didn't pay a cent for it. And I now had the money that I needed to go towards my rent. So I'm just saying, guys, you can manifest in miraculous ways like that. It's truly possible. Another story that I love to share is my story about moving. So After Vegas was kind of a bust, I ended up moving back in with family for a little while. And it was a very toxic environment because if you ever met my brother, you would want to not be anywhere close to him. He is incredibly toxic, incredibly narcissistic, and yeah, I don't talk about him. So, but I'm going to talk about him in the story because he made living with my family very, very hard to do. And I would tiptoe around the house to not upset him, to not disturb anybody, to just stay in my room and be quiet as a church mouse, and only go down in the kitchen when I absolutely had to, and at times when I knew he wouldn't be in there and me cooking wouldn't disturb anybody. So it was a toxic environment and I needed to get out. And I was trying desperately to get back on my feet at this time and be able to get my own place and move somewhere. And I had a friend reach out to me and she's like, "Hey, I've got a room. Do you want to come and stay with me?" And I was like, "Well, how much is rent and stuff?" And she's like, "I just want to see you get back on your feet." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me see what I can do." This was December of it's December of 23. Yeah, the December of 23. And so I was like, okay, well, let me see what I can put together. No, actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what year it was, does it? Anyway, so she tells me about having this room for me. And I'm like, okay, well, why don't we plan on March? That's my birthday. That's when my driver's license for the state of Texas, where I had moved from out to Vegas from, was going to expire. And I did not want to lose my, as I call it, Texas citizenship, because it was a big rigmarole to get that dang license and I was keeping it. So I was like, okay, let's go. Let's shoot for March. Let's get the money together to get the rental car, to pay for the gas and the expenses of getting back to Texas. And so that's what I did. I was trying to manifest that. And I was not honestly sure that the money was going to come together. There were so many times that I questioned it. But I had faith that if I was meant to come back to Texas, my spirit team was going to make that happen for me. And you know what? They did. They stepped up. And I had people literally donate large sums of money to get me what I needed to pay for this car and to cover gas. And I was just blown away on how the money just flowed in when I needed it and how everything just came together. And now I'm back in Texas. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to be leaving the state anytime soon unless it's to travel for periods of time because, yeah, this is home to me. This is the third time I've lived here and I'm not going anywhere. But I'm still living with my friend as she's been an amazing support. She always checks up on me. I get to check up on her and take care of her and her animals. And it's been the absolute best living situation because I get to do things like this, share things with you guys, do my podcast, work my business, and not feel like I've got to tiptoe or be quiet. I can just be me. And that's the best thing. Best thing ever. So I manifested this beautiful life that I am living now. And I love that. So why don't we talk about some of the manifesting techniques that we can be using to manifest what it is that we desire for ourselves. So, of course, I'm going to start out with what a lot of people like to use, and that's affirmations. So, positive affirmations. If you wanted to get, say, a japa mala or mala beads to do this with, that would be a great accoutrement. Definitely not necessary, but something fun to play around with. So you can use affirmations like, I have more than enough money that I could spend in a lifetime. I always have my needs constantly met. The abundant universe always provides and gives me more than enough to cover all my wants and needs. So you can sit here and do affirmations and say them over and over again until you finally get it ingrained in your head and your subconscious finally goes, okay, fine. I will flip the script that's going in the back of your head to what it is that you're declaring, and the universe is going to align and you're going to receive it. So we can always use affirmations. Meditation, of course, everybody can use meditation, using visualizations, meditation. So visualizing what it is that you want or desire, visualizing yourself in the form that you're trying to manifest, because a lot of us maybe are not where we want to be. Maybe you're trying to lose weight. Maybe you're trying to find that perfect romantic partner. Maybe you're trying to manifest that dream job or that great car that you want to drive. Whatever it is, get into a meditative state. Visualize yourself in that moment as what you want to be. So if you're wanting to lose weight, visualize yourself at the size that you want to be. Visualize what you're able to do, what your life is like. See yourself in that car that you want to drive. See yourself doing that dream job. Look at those business cards that have your title on them. Like, really get specific. Align with that. Feel what it feels like to be like accomplished and be there already. Because you know what? Somewhere in the universe, there's a version of you that's already achieved this. So you're just calling it into this version, this present moment version of yourself. So visualizations, meditations. Did you know, fun fact, did you know that water holds memory? There is a Japanese scientist, Dr. Mansuro Emoto. I hope I said that name right. And he did a study once with water. And what he did was he put water in 2 separate containers. One container, he wrote the word hate on it. And on the other container, he wrote love. And he let them sit for a little while, and then he looked at them under a microscope. And the molecules in the water actually looked different from the jar that said love on it and the jar that said hate on it. So water holds memory, which makes it a great form of manifesting. And there are so many ways that you can manifest with water. But I'm going to share a few techniques that you could do with it right now. So for one, maybe you're a coffee drinker like myself. And so when you're making your morning coffee, which obviously uses water to make it, you're going to set intentions over that drink. So the water that's in there, you're going to ask it, program it. So if you're like a cream and sugar girly, I drink mine black. No shade to those who like cream and sugar, but you put your spoon in there and you swirl it clockwise to call in stuff for yourself. And you set the intention of what this does for you. And you can do this with any drink, really. But coffee is a great example, your tea. But like setting intentions or holding the glass and setting the intentions that every time I drink this, good things happen to me. Every time I drink this, my body gets more healed. Every time I drink this, I become more prosperous. Whatever, you're setting the intentions and you're using that as a form of manifestation. At one point, I used to take this product. It is called Calm. It is a magnesium supplement that my doctor was having me take. And I would mix it in with a cup of tea at the end of the day. And it would bubble and it would fizz and I would have to stir it into my drink. But I used to do that. I'd be like, every time I drink this, my body gets healthier. Every time I get into a better state of alignment. So maybe you play around with that technique. You could also try the 2-cup method. And the 2-cup method is really fun. I love playing around with it. And what that is you are going to get yourself 2 cups of water. On 1 cup, you are going to write out your current situation. So let's say, an example, you're trying to get more followers on your Instagram or your TikTok page. Write down how many followers you have right now in this moment while you're doing this manifestation. And on the other cup, you're going to write down what your goal is. So how many followers are you trying to manifest to follow you? You can put a sticky note on a regular old cup. You could get one of those, red Solo cups and write on it with a Sharpie. It doesn't matter how you want to do this, but you're going to write this out, whether it's a sticky note or writing it on the cup itself. And then you're going to take the water. Actually, there's only water in one of the cups. Let me backtrack. Water in one of the cups. You're going to take the water from the current cup, your current reality cup, and you are going to pour it into the one that you're trying to manifest. And then after you've poured the water from your current reality into your future reality, you're going to take your future reality and you're going to drink it because you're going to consume it and you're going to become it. And so that's how you're going to manifest it, because remember, water holds memory. So the water is memorizing what was written on the cup. You are now absorbing it and becoming it. Hence, you are now manifesting the outcome that you want from that technique. That technique is always really fun. If you're a little bit of a witchy girly, I love my witchy girlies because you don't take shit from no one, and you know how to manifest things in a pinch using kitchen ingredients like water. And what you could do is you can play around with moon water. If you don't know what moon water is, it is where you set water out during a new or a full moon to call in certain things for yourself and to help you with manifesting. And one thing I like to do when I have done moon water in the past, it's been a while, is I will go and I'll buy one of those gallon jugs of spring water. Doesn't matter what type of water. You could do a smaller bottle if you want to, but I just would go and buy one of those gallon jugs of water. I would take a Sharpie and I would write all over the outside of the bottle what I was manifesting. I would put that bottle out on my patio under the moonlight, and the next day I would bring it in the house and I would use that water in my coffee, in my tea, a splash in my cooking until that water was completely gone. Now, you could sit here and spread it out and like use it for spell work. If you're a spell work person, you could do it all sorts of things with it. But the point is you're consuming that water similar to the 2-cup technique, except it's also being charged under the moonlight. And you can do your little incantations and whatever you want to say over it. But another really fun technique, super easy, super simple. And just calling in to manifest whatever it is that you desire for yourself. Another option would be doing things with candles. So you can use candles to kind of burn and set your intention that way. So again, to my witchy girlies who like to manifest some quick cash or manifest some protection around yourself or putting someone in their place, you pull out your candles. And if you guys want to do some research, different candle colors have different meanings. I tend to personally just work with abundance workings with candles. So I'll get a good green candle. Chime candles are perfect if you want something quick. If you want something that's going to take a little bit longer, then go to the Dollartra, aka the Dollar Tree. Get yourself a green 7-day candle, $1.25. Pretty cheap spell. And then you can go raid your kitchen for different seasonings that call in abundance that you could put on that. So just rub a little bit of oil on the top and then put, if you want to make it super simple, go get your Italian seasoning out. I don't know people who don't keep Italian seasoning in the house. Most people keep that seasoning in the house. Just grab the Italian seasoning, sprinkle it on the top. Because literally all the herbs that you're looking for abundance are pretty much in the Italian seasoning. So a little bit of oil, a little bit of seasoning on top, set your intention with that candle and burn it and just let it burn until it's done. That is another easy form of manifesting and calling in what it is that you desire for yourself. Now we're going to get into some written versions of manifesting. And this next technique, I haven't personally worked with it, but I have heard really great success stories with it. So I'm going to share it with you. And that is the 5-5-5 technique. And you're like, what is the 5-5-5 technique? Well, I will tell you what that is. What that is you are going to write out what it is that you're trying to manifest 55 times a day for 5 days. So come up with whatever you want to say. I drive a brand new whatever car, or I have a job doing XYZ, whatever your thing is. But you're going to write that out 55 times a day for 5 days. It's going to get ingrained in your head. It's going to help you reprogram your subconscious. It's going to tap you into that manifestation state, helping you to energetically align to what it is that you want to receive. Now, the next one I have done quite a bit with, and I absolutely love it. And it's similar to the 5-5-5 technique. And what it is, it's scripted writing. Because as I've told you guys in the past, you are the author of your life. You are the one who is creating what's going on around you. Through your actions, your reactions, you get to choose how life comes at you, how you choose to live through the experiences that you're dealing with. But scripted writing is going to help you to be the writer that you are. It's going to be a visual representation of what you're calling in for yourself. So let's use buying a new car as an example. I am going to pick, let's say I want to drive a 2025 Mercedes G-Wagon. Let's just go all out and get ourselves a really fancy car. Because you know what? We are living lavish. We are living this beautiful lifestyle where we want for nothing. And driving a G-Wagon is just the best thing ever. So if we were going to use scripted writing to manifest our G-Wagon, we would write out something like this. I am so blessed to be able to drive a 2025 Mercedes G-Wagon. I love getting into this vehicle because every time I get into the vehicle, my phone syncs right up. I get to play all my favorite music. I love how smooth the ride is. It is a safe vehicle. It gets me everywhere that I want to go. I love how easy it is to fill up my car, how affordable it is to take care of it. My favorite part is that this car is completely paid off or I can afford the monthly payments. I love looking out my window, seeing it in the driveway and smiling because it's my vehicle and I get to drive wherever I want to go in this car. So just an idea of scripted writing. You guys can use it for all sorts of things. I have used it in the past to help build up my business. I have used it to manifest my office space in one of my old apartments. I'm like, okay, I want this office space that has these cute little shelves on the wall with little knickknacks, and I want gold wallpaper, and I want purple on the wall somewhere. And you know what? I made that happen. I found the gold wallpaper. I ended up painting one of the walls purple. And I found these cute little shelves at Home Goods. They were exactly what I was looking for, like exactly. I wasn't planning to go in there that day, but one of my spirit guides like, we're going to Home Goods. I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, no, we're going to Home Goods. And I walked in there and there were the shelves. So yeah, I'm just saying, scripted writing, guys. Write out what it is that you want and then go back and reread it or keep writing out that story over and over again in different formats for yourself. It's about really seeing yourself as the main character because you are. You're the main character of your life. So figure out who you are, what you're about, and use the scripted writing to recreate yourself. You know, I love that. There's another technique I wanted to share with you guys because we kind of talked about visualizations already with the meditation. And I'm going to call it timeline jumping because that's basically how I learned this technique was how to timeline jump, which is jumping into a different version of yourself that already has what you desire. So I'm going to go ahead and put that under manifesting because, you know, you are manifesting a different version of yourself. And this technique, super easy. I cannot stress how easy this one is. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to say to do this technique. And when you start doing it, you're going to be very shocked at how quickly things change in your life. So, how are you going to timeline jump to manifest the best version or the higher version of yourself? What you're going to do is when you go to bed at night, before you go to sleep, when you close your eyes and you're getting ready to drift off and you're getting into that kind of meditative state, I want you to tell yourself, when I wake up in the morning, I am going to be the best version of myself. I'm going to be on the highest possible timeline, something along those lines. Or when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to be on the highest possible timeline. I'm going to be the absolute best version of myself. And as you're drifting off to sleep, you're going to visualize yourself in that format. You are going to see yourself as a version of you that you want and desire to be. You're going to see yourself perfectly healthy. You're going to see yourself in that body that you want for yourself, having that partner that you want, living in the house that you desire, driving the vehicle that you want, seeing the children that you might want to have. You are going to sit here and visualize all of the stuff that you want for yourself. And then in the morning, when your alarm goes off, I don't want you to get out of bed right away. I want you to lay there for a second and say, I have now awoken on the highest possible timeline. I am now the absolute best version of myself because in this moment you are. You are the absolute best version of what it is that you want to be. And I want you to play with this and start seeing how it works for you. And I'm going to share a personal story with you on when I started playing with this technique and how it worked for me. At the time, I was wanting to be a yoga girly, and I still want to be a yoga girly. I just need to actually take the time to get consistent with my practice. But at the time, I wanted to be a yoga girly, and I was making it a point to do yoga every day in some capacity. And I was just getting started on my yoga journey and doing different poses and getting more flexible because I'm not that flexible at this point. But my spirit team was like, you need to do plank pose. And I'm like, shut up. I am nowhere near in shape to do a plank pose right now. They're like, no, you need to do plank pose. I'm like, I'm going to fall right out of it. What is the point? And they're like, no, just do plank pose. So now I have been doing the timeline shifting for, I'd say 2 or 3 days at this point. And so I decide to go ahead and be like, okay, bet I will do plank pose because you're asking me to do it. And you know what? Instead of falling right out of plank pose and not being able to hold it at all, because trust and believe, I was in no condition to be able to do plank pose at this point in my journey. I held it for 30 seconds. And you know what happened the next day? The next day I went a whole minute. You cannot tell me that this timeline jumping didn't propel me into a version of myself that was capable of achieving what I wanted to achieve. Because you know what? I held it for a whole minute the day after, and I even did it like 2 or 3 more times to videotape it. It was just insane. I'm like, who is this girl? Who am I? I don't recognize myself. Like, apparently this timeline jumping thing really works. So guys, play around with that. Again, what you're going to say when you go to bed, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to be on the highest possible timeline. I am going to be the absolute best version of myself. And when you wake up in the morning, don't get out of bed right away. Remind yourself, I have awoken on the highest possible timeline. I am now the absolute best version of myself. And if you want to add a little, I can't wait to see what the universe has in store for me today, you could throw something like that in. And I'm so grateful for all of the things that the universe is aligning for me to receive at this moment. But work with it, guys, and let me know how that works for you in the comments, because I love to hear your stories. I would love to hear, what are your experiences with manifesting? What are techniques that work for you? What are some of your success stories, or how have things kind of landed in your lap and just worked out the way that you wanted them to? Okay. I want to remind you guys again, because we talked a little bit about this earlier. When you are trying to manifest, you've got to be taking action towards achieving what it is that you want. So, whatever it is that you're wanting, you need to let the universe know, I'm on board with this and I'm taking steps to make this achievable for myself right now. So, if you wanted to be like myself and do spiritual work full time, okay? Well, show the universe that you want to be doing this full time by putting yourself out there, marketing yourself for clients, maybe doing live feeds on TikTok like I do, or on Facebook if you're still over there. But let's be honest, I don't know many people who use that besides connecting with their core friends at this point. But the point is you need to be like taking action steps, showing that you are wanting this and that you're ready to receive it. And by taking those action steps towards that, it lets the universe know, okay, send this to them, because they're meeting us halfway. They're putting in the work. We're going to put in our side, and we're going to come together and meet in the middle. So take action, guys, and be open to receive. Be open to receive. So many times you want things, but you don't feel like you're worthy. You don't feel like you're ready for them. Or you're just not in this point where like you can trust yourself to receive them. So you got to take your walls down. You got to be open. You got to be willing to connect and willing to let things come through for yourself, because you deserve good things. You deserve to have your manifestations come in. You deserve to have them come in easily for you. Which reminds me, I'm glad I said that. because I want to give you guys something that I like to say all the time when I'm manifesting. And I think you guys will really like adding this in when you're asking for stuff as well. When I'm asking for something, so like, let's say I'm wanting my business to be even more successful than it already is. I'd be like, universe, please show me how my business could be even more successful than it already is, for my highest good and with great ease. When you ask for something for your highest good, you're asking for it to come in if you're in alignment to receive it, if it is in your best interest to receive it, and you're asking for it with great ease, so you don't have to go through a struggle to receive it. Because if you're wanting to manifest a new car, as an example, and you just want a new car, the universe might be like, okay, bet. Here's a car accident that's going to total out your car. You're going to get shaken up. You might have some injuries. But guess what? You're getting that new car you wanted. I don't want to get a car that way. Do you? I don't. So I'm going to ask for that car with great ease. So maybe I get that raise at work. Maybe I win the lottery. Maybe someone wants to gift me a new car. But I get that car in the easiest manner possible. I don't got to jump through hoops or do anything crazy to receive it. So when you're manifesting, guys, always make sure to ask for my highest good and with great ease. So everything comes to you if it's in your best interest to receive it, and it comes to you in an easy format. So, so important. Now, I do like to do a little bit of meditation with you guys on every episode, and this one is going to be no different. We're going to take a moment and we're going to get meditative together. So if you're driving, you know the drill. Don't join us. Pay attention to the road. Hands at 10 and 12. 10 and 2. I'm sorry. I haven't driven in a while. My roommate drives me around. So, I play passenger princess, but you understand. So if you're driving, don't join us. You could do the meditation later. But if you're not driving, get comfortable for a second. Close your eyes with me. Take a deep breath in. And just let your whole body relax as you exhale. And I want you to take a moment and I want you to visualize something that you're trying to manifest for yourself. What does this look like? What do you look like? What is it like to have this thing that you're trying to manifest? How do you feel? Do you feel happy? Do you feel excited? What is it like to hold this item or be this item? Just take a moment and really connect with it. And put a smile on your face because you just manifested something that you're wanting. You can see it. You can feel it. You can experience it. Just put a big smile on your face and connect with it. See yourself having this in this moment. You already have what it is that you desire. You are aligning yourself to receive it. And take a moment and tell the universe how grateful you are for already having what it is that you're trying to manifest. Universe, thank you so much for the item that I am manifesting or what I am manifesting myself to become. Thank you so much for always gifting me everything I need for my highest good and with great ease. And take a moment and just really show your gratitude and your thankfulness to your spirit team, to all your deities and whoever you like to work with on the other side. Because they are here to help you, support you, to love you, and to give you all it is that you want. They're here to help you have the life that you want for yourself, because you deserve to have the life you want for yourself. So visualize yourself having that and take action steps towards making it happen. When you're ready, guys, slowly open your eyes. Come back and join us here in the present moment. I want to thank you guys so much today for coming and hanging out with me. It's been an honor and a privilege spending time with all of you. If you need some help with your manifestations or you want some advice and guidance on things going on in your life, I do offer one-on-one sessions, and I would absolutely love an opportunity to sit down and discuss things with you and figure out the best path forward so you can be living your best life and you can manifest the dream life that you want for yourself. So when you guys are ready, go to my website, book your time. I would absolutely adore spending some time with you. Thank you guys again so much for listening and joining in today. I look so forward to reading your comments on your manifesting journey, things that have worked for you or things that you want to call in for yourself. And until next week, have a wonderful and blessed days ahead.